Hispanic institutions. When I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans, I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed to reduce the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service. Like Keenan Jones, a public educator from Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you? Keenan, thank you. He's educated hundreds of students so they can go to college. Now,
can you hear me, everybody?
Get his own daughter to college.
You see that I'm going live on Instagram too.
And folks, look.
Oh, hell yeah. We're doing it. State of the Union.
Because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family.
I don't even know how long I'll be doing this, but they definitely juiced him up tonight. Did they not? Are you watching? I want to give him a raise. I love the lean in. He does a lot of leaning in. Yay. Wait, is it true that George Santos tried to muscle his way into this?
And by the way, the first couple of years, we cut the deficit. Now, let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible ways.
Okay.
We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion. I signed the bipartisan deal.
Meanwhile, Trump increased it by $1 trillion with the tax cuts. He's doing pretty good so far, guys. There was also
by making big corporations and very wealthy finally beginning to pay their fair share.
There was a protest outside for ceasefire that delayed his motorcade, and that was amazing. I believe it was If Not Now and JVP that led that. I mean, who else?
Can make $1 million or millions of bucks. That's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes.
What's going on, guys?
A fair tax code.
We're good. I'm just on my couch. I decided to stream on Instagram too. We'll see.
Healthcare, education, defense, and so much more.
I'm over.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. What?
The administration enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%.
Yup, they wrote off their private jets too. That show's crazy.
And exploded the federal deficit. They added more to the national debt than any presidential term in American history. Check the numbers. Folks,
does anyone know what Marjorie's wearing today? Is it what kind of sort of like...
Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break? I sure don't. I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny. They haven't yet.
So can we just observe Mike Johnson in the back, who looks like a sad little like doll that no one wants to play with on the shelf? He's just like, he's like Elf on the Shelf, sad Elf on the Shelf.
Cut child poverty in half.
Yeah, but why don't you extend the child tax credits? Did anyone get the child tax credits? I didn't get them.
No child should go hungry in this country.
But they are.
The way to make the tax code fair is to make big corporations and the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
Begin. Just an idea. Just begin it a little bit.
55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero.
So this feels more like a reprise of last year's State of the Union, which is like labor, inequality.
But that's
here's what I'm doing for the economy.
And working people paying federal taxes.
There was some shots fired at Trump early on. I saw those. I don't think he's gotten to the Palestine stuff yet. Did I miss Palestine?
So every big corporation finally,
you're never alone.
Pay their fair share. I also want to end tax breaks for big pharma, big oil, private jets, massive executive pay when it's only supposed to be $1 million that could be deducted. They can pay them $20 million if they want, but deduct $1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires? No. They're making great sacrifices, 8.2%. That's far less than the vast majority.
Did someone say zero and he was like, no?
No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse.
He's enunciating, guys. I think we have to give him credit for he's like getting his mouth around those consonants, those vowels. It's pretty good.
I propose a minimum tax for billionaires of 25%, just 25%.
Yeah, they can
You know
afford
what that would raise?
25%.
That would raise
20% is what they make off
$500
their assets.
billion over the next 10 years. And imagine what that could do for America. Imagine a future with affordable child care. Millions of families can get they need to go to work to help grow the economy. Imagine a future with paid leave.
Imagine a future. I
Because
won't
no
be
one should
there.
have to
I'll
choose
be
between
dead, but it'll
working
be
and taking care
good,
of a
maybe
sick
for
family
some
member.
people for a short amount of time. Imagine.
Imagine the future of home care and elder care.
Elder care, bro. We need to talk about elder care for your ass and your running mate. I mean, not your running mate, the guy you're running against.
Get the pay they deserve. Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block.
Oh, hell yeah. Who's
Security,
decked out? Is that
Medicare, raise the
Marge?
retirement age,
Who's the
I
blonde
will
who's decked
stop
out in MAGA gear? Somebody tell me, please, right now.
The working people who built this country pay more in the Social Security than
Thank you,
millionaires and
SOS March.
billionaires
So
do.
stupid.
It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh, no. You guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut?
Oh, here we go.
I kind of thought that's what your plan was.
Ooh.
Well, that's good to hear.
Ooh, salty. Salty old man.
$2 trillion for the super wealthy. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share. Look.
You're not doing shit unless you overhaul the filibuster. So talk about how you're actually going to get it done. We know you want to.
Raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less.
Oh, I was going to say, are you going to rescind all of the oil subsidies that we give the fossil fuel industry?
Deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing. In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag. Put fewer chips in it.
Oh, no, shit. Now we're talking about corn chips. What do you guys think?
Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this.
Oh, is that Bobby Casey? Hell yeah. Bobby Casey. I love He's talking about snacks.
Oh, good. He's going to help with my snack budget.
Thank God. Matt, first of all, my husband's very excited because he's been upset that Fritos has a lot of less chips in it. But my favorite part is that there's actually a congressperson whose entire platform is how come they only give you 3 less Doritos in the why is it fun?
Look, I'm also getting rid of junk fees, those hidden fees.
Snacks. Some dude's just running on the snack platform. I love that.
Biden administration announced they're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8. Banks and credit card companies are allowed to charge.
Can you hear this well enough?
Cost them to instigate the collection, and that's more a hell of a lot like $8 and 30-some dollars. They don't like it. Credit card companies don't like it. But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk food I'm eliminating.
$20 billion. Do a lean in. Let's do a lean in. I never get this close to the camera.
That's why the banks are so mad. Is $20 billion in profit.
Liar. Fake news.
I'm not stopping there. My administration has proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front, so there are no surprises.
I'll raise his volume.
It matters.
Oh, please talk about Taylor Swift right now.
So does this. In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That
Clowning.
Conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now.
That's good. But like also, why are you running to the right?
What are you against? $100 more high-tech drug detection machines.
Well, yeah, that's what we
Significantly
need.
Increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America.
Fentanyl's made in America, dick.
This bill would save lives and bring order to the border. It will also give me and any new president new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming.
That's fun. So if you
The
lose
Border
in
Patrol
November,
Union has endorsed
you'll
this
give
bill.
Trump that ability to shut down the
Federal
border
Chamber of
whenever he
Commerce
wants?
Yeah. You're saying low. Look at the facts. I know.
Look at the facts. I'm just as
I know you don't
Republican
agree.
as you are on the border.
I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, a majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress and the Senate to demand they block the bill.
Yes, he did.
He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me.
Isn't it though?
I'd be a winner. Not really.
Shut up, Marge. Nobody wants you here. Shut up.
Lincoln.
Oh, damn.
Riley,
I prefer the Cruella de Vil look.
By an illegal.
He should hit her.
That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to
Debate me.
I understand.
Debate me. He said
look,
illegals.
If we change the dynamic at the border, people pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know if they get by and let into the country, it's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing. And it's worth it taking the chance of the $8,000. But if it's only 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and gum all that way, knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly.
Good fucking luck with that.
Folks,
that is totally not true. People will pay whatever it takes to escape the violence that the United States has often helped create in their home countries and the economic destitution. I do believe in expediting the process. The immigration courts are completely backed up, but he's running to the right on this, and it's so obnoxious. Oh, he's watching.
Politics and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill. Join me in telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together.
Join me.
What he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country. I will not.
Well, thank you, sir, for making sure that you won't stoop to literally the lowest bar ever. Immigrants don't have tails and horns. I would never say that.
My predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. And so much more.
He's like, I got impeached over your bullshit. God damn it. What am I doing here?
I know who we are as Americans. We're the only nation in the world with a heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans and ancestors have been here for thousands of years. Home to people of from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in Ireland. Some to flee persecution. To chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere. But we're all American.
Again, back to Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson's like, no, what would Jesus do? I hope my son is not looking up pornography, but I'll find out later.
Fixing the border, or we can fix it.
allowing a president to shut down the border whenever is you have to change the Constitution in order to do that. Oh boy.
A transformational moment.
Honey, I'm gonna be late.
Happened 59 years
Oops,
ago
wrong
today
honey.
in Selma, Alabama. Hundreds of foot soldiers for justice marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, named after the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, to claim their fundamental right to vote. They were beaten. They were bloody.
The Edmund Pettus Bridge is named after the Grand Dragon of the KKK? The fuck?
March. We miss him.
Also, why are they dragons? That's so weird. Like, that's such a weird, like... Why are the KKK called the Dragon? Grand Dragon?
KKK was a Grand Dragon?
Why do they have dragons? Don't get dragons involved in this. What did dragons ever do?
Known as the voice of Selma, the daughter of gospel singers and preachers. She sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday to help shake the nation's conscience. 5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law.
He didn't just drink coffee. They gave him a little shot in the butt. They were just like, bang! He had something else. I mean, we just found out all the drugs that were floating around the Trump administration. Who knows the kind of like horse meds that Biden's on? I mean, you got to.
But 59 years later,
Justice for Dragons.
Taking us back in time. Voter suppression, election subversion, unlimited dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis was a great friend to many of us here. But if you truly want to honor him and all the heroes who marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk.
You think they want to?
The Freedom to Vote Act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act.
You know none of this is going to happen unless you overturn the filibuster. You have to, look, call out Mitch McConnell. Call out the dude who just retired.
And stop denying another core value of America.
They don't give a shit.
Diversity across American life.
Oh, he said the D word. He said the D. Hell yeah. Let's talk about those books.
History. I want to protect fundamental rights. Pass the Equality
But
Act.
have you read those books? They talk about anal.
I have your back.
And all boys are blue, okay? It's just fact. When boys are born, they come out with like a little blue hat on, so you know it's a boy.
Because every worker has a right to a decent living, more than $7 an hour. We're also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying it.
Are you? Because we're producing more oil now than ever before.
I'm taking the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world.
The history of the world. Okay.
Cutting our carbon emissions in half by 2030. Creating tens of thousands of clean energy jobs.
Eventually, I'm cutting carbon emissions in half. Again, I won't be alive to see it, but at some point we will.
30% of America's lands and waters by 2030. And taking action on environmental justice, fence line communities smothered by the legacy of pollution. And pattern after the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps, I launched the Climate Corps to put 20,000 young people to work.
That's true. The Climate Corps was cool.
Clean energy future. I'll triple that number in a decade.
Honey, you won't be here in a decade, boo. I'm like I want to believe that, but like, Kamala should just be like, I'll triple that number in a decade.
All Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30%.
This is a really...
The biggest increase in
Whoa,
history.
there's a crazy outburst right now.
It was then.
Yo.
Through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add, we made the largest investment in public safety ever. Last year, the murder rate saw the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years.
I like this line.
But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers.
No, we
More
don't.
mental health workers.
Yes.
More community violence intervention. Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking.
Give communities a tool to crack down on gun crime. How about gun control? That cuts down on gun crime.
And calling for it to be the law of the land.
Welcome to my late night stream, everybody, with a man who is up past his bedtime. Oh,
because no one should be jailed for simply using or have it on their record.
The cop applauds.
Take on crimes of domestic violence.
Yes, take on crimes of domestic violence.
Federal enforcement of the Violence Against Women Act that I proudly wrote when I was a senator, so we can finally end the scourge against women in America.
But also don't kiss them on the head. Like, can you add that to the bill?
Violence I want to stop. With us tonight is Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie was murdered with 21 classmates and teachers in elementary school in Uvalde, Texas.
Jesus.
Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent
call out the
hours
cops.
and hours with
Let's
each of
call
the
out the
families.
cops.
We heard their
Uvalde's getting
message,
harassed by the cops.
So everyone in this
still.
room, in this chamber, could hear the same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something.
Ooh, angry
I
Biden.
did do something by
Angry
establishing
Joe.
the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, that the Vice President is leading the charge. Thank you for doing it.
You should do a little bit more than that.
Meanwhile,
You should investigate the Uvalde police. Why are they not being held accountable? They're terrorizing the citizens already, still, to this day.
Meanwhile, my predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president. Oh. After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Stop it. I like that. I say, here's my plan. Knock it off. Yeah. Matt says to do nothing but yell oldly.
In nearly 30 years because of this Congress. We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
Again, you can say all of this. You can say all this is good, but like, how are you going to implement it? You know you have an obstructionist Congress and Senate. What are you going to? You can't whisper to them. You thought they would have an epiphany when you came to office. They have not had an epiphany. They don't care. They think you're a crime boss, dog. You should talk about that.
We manage challenges at home. We're also managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East.
Everyone's thinking about your son's dick right now. Like, you're talking to them, and the other side's just like, yeah, Hunter Biden's penis is pretty big, though. It's a nice dick. I haven't seen it.
The massacre by
is it nice?
Hamas, as you all know.
Okay, you heard it here first, guys. My husband thinks Hunter Biden's dick is nice,
people,
so.
Women and girls, men and boys slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust.
Oh, there we go, Matt. You're going to have to listen to this.
Here in this chamber tonight.
The biggest massacre since the Holocaust. We're talking about October 7th.
To all the families that will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also...
Well, again, you'll be dead by the time that happens because Israel is not doing whatever they can in their power to bring the hostages home.
We will also work around the clock.
Fuck these hogs.
Bring home Evan and Paul, Americans being
Oink, oink, you fucking hog.
Russians and others around the world. Israel has a right.
Oh, we moved on to Russia. We've moved on to Russia.
Yeah, that was quick.
Yeah.
Oh, Hamas. We're back to Hamas.
Laying down arms could end it by releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible for October 7th.
The Israeli line.
Excuse me. Israel has a added burden because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population.
Fuck
as
you.
The chip in
Under
his
hospitals,
brain that
daycare
makes him a
centers, whatever.
Zionist sometimes
It's
goes off the
activating.
Has a
grid.
fundamental responsibility, though,
Fuck you,
to
dog.
protect innocent civilians in Gaza.
Oh, does it?
Oh, 30,000 of them have been murdered.
Bitch, you have a fundamental
war.
responsibility. You do nothing fucking
You don't actually care
senior
about
citizen ass
Taking a
bitch.
greater toll on innocent civilians than all
Listen,
previous
if you're an
wars in
old
Gaza
person watching
combined.
this and you think I'm being
More than
ageist, just
30,000
know that I think
Palestinians
you're
have been
great.
killed,
But if
most
you
of
are
whom
senile like he
are
is,
not
you should
Hamas.
not be president.
Yeah, most of
Thousands and thousands of innocents, women and children, girls and boys.
25,000 according to your
Nearly 2
own
million
defense
more
secretary.
Palestinians under bombardment or displacement. Homes destroyed, neighbors in rubble, cities in ruin.
What you gonna do?
Food, water, medicine.
Even Mike Johnson's interested in what he's going to say.
I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that will
But-
last.
Bullshit. You
But-
just started saying ceasefire a week ago. Blinken's like, I have a
Blinken is
shit the size of a
and
brick.
ease the intolerable and
Oh,
have a
please
humanitarian
don't say
crisis.
anything Israel's gonna be
Build towards
bad
an
at.
enduring,
I'll have
something
to
more
say he was
enduring.
just kidding
The
again.
United States has been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance to Gaza.
Woo!
Only two people with
I'm
balls.
directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can
Temporary.
receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and
Oh.
temporary shelters.
We're going to have funnel
No
cake.
US
Look at
We're going to
that.
have,
on the ground.
we're going to have a
pier will
Ferris
enable
wheel.
a massive
be
increase in the
great
amount of
pier.
humanitarian assistance getting into Gaza every day.
So you heard this. This is the big news that he's going to establish a maritime access to Gaza, which
Israel must do
If
its
you're
part.
wondering why that hasn't happened yet, it's because there's a fucking blockade that's been
Israel
going
must
on
allow
for
more aid in the
17
Gaza
years,
to
which
ensure
they can't do
humanitarian
shit
workers
about
aren't
shit.
caught in the crossfire.
And so up until
They're
this point,
announcing they're
they
gonna-
haven't given a shit.
They're going to have a crossing.
That's why they had
in
the
Gaza.
airlift shit, even though they're
The
all
leadership
coast.
of Israel, I say this: humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a
too
bargaining
late.
chip.
Too late.
Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is
What
a
was that
two-state
shot?
solution over time.
A peaceful solution over time. That's what he said. Over
Oh,
time.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah. Just take a little time. Just give it a few hundred years.
like a ceasefire, but over time.
Yeah.
Just
As
get
a
just wait
lifelong
until they're done
supporter of Israel,
recolonizing.
My entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I
We
challenge
know.
any of you here.
Golda
I
gave you the
say
hand
this.
job of a life.
President
Blood
of
is
Israel in
delicious.
wartime. But there is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity. There's no other path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors,
Peace and poverty.
including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking.
Who has you by the
Creating
balls?
Middle East also means containing the threat posed by
Yeah,
Iran.
the best friends.
That's why I built a coalition of more than a dozen countries to defend
Oh, here we
international
go.
shipping.
Yeah, let's get
freedom
into
of navigation in
Iran.
the Red Sea.
No, we're talking about the
Ordered
Houthis.
strikes to
Oh,
degrade
yeah,
the
but
Houthi
I mean,
capability and
it's all
defend U.S.
fucking,
forces in the
just
region.
gear up
As
towards
Commander
more
in Chief, I will not hesitate
Iran
to direct
shit.
further measures to protect our people and our
Lord
military
Austin.
personnel.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, we got to protect the ships, guys.
Protect the iPhones.
I love how today, I believe, was the first time that there was actually an
Heard many of my
incident in which there was
Republican and
civilian or
Democratic
crew
friends
deaths on one of the ships
say
that the
that China is on the
Houthis have been
rise.
being bombed and bombarded
And
now ever
America's
since,
falling
like
behind.
3-4 weeks ago.
They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America's rising. We have the best economy in the world.
You telling the Houthis
And
this?
since I've come to office, our GDP is up.
America's
our trade
rising
deficit
like a
down
big,
to the
hard
lowest point
dick,
in over a
like
decade.
when I
Oh, now
shake-
we're mad. We're
standing
mad
up
at
against
China now.
China's unfair
We
economic
got to get
practices.
China, of course.
We're standing up for
Fucking
peace and
hawk
stability
ass
across the
bitches.
Taiwan Straits.
Hezbollah, if you
Sorry.
can hear me,
Partnership and
Hassan
alliance in the Pacific.
Nasrallah, if you can
India,
hear me, all of the
Australia,
targets
Japan,
are gathered in one. I'm
Korea.
just kidding.
What's
I'm
wrong
joking.
with
I'm
you?
I
joking.
made sure
I'm
the most
joking. It's
advanced
all
American
love.
technologies
I believe in
can't be
peace.
used
Wait, can we
in
just-
China. Not
Okay,
allowing
we've
the trade
skipped over
there.
China after
Frankly,
we've.
Hassan
all the tough talk
Nasrallah.
on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that. I want competition with China, not conflict. And we're in a stronger position to win the conflict of the 21st century against China than anyone else, for that matter, than any time as well. Here at home,
Ugh,
I signed over 400 bipartisan bills.
I don't like
There's
weak
more
sounding Biden, but I
Past my unity
like
agenda.
angry Biden.
Strengthen
I
penalties on
dislike
fentanyl
angry
trafficking.
Biden
You don't want
almost
to
as
do
much
that, huh?
because angry Biden only has one
Pass
tone.
bipartisan privacy
He just-
legislation to protect our children
Just
online.
constantly on defense on the defense, and there's no like, there's
Harness the
no
promise of AI to protect us from peril.
inspiration or understanding or thoughtfulness.
AI
It's
voice
just
impersonations
different
and
gradations
more.
of angry old man.
Yes.
And keep our truly sacred obligation.
Oh, there we go.
Children
Let's
equipped.
get everything in there.
Those
More
who send them
chippies.
harm's
Start
way.
the bag.
To care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't.
Kamala. What a job she has. I almost feel bad for her.
The song Support and Help of Dennis.
Just having to hold on to his piss bag.
I signed the pact on. One of the most
Okay,
significant
this is the act I don't care about. No, I mean I do care.
Millions
But
of veterans exposed to toxins.
What is?
this is the toxin veteran exposure with like the John Stewart's bill that
Oh, so something good.
something good.
But we owe them and their families support. We owe it to ourselves to keep supporting our new health research agency called ARPA-H. And remind us.
Well, what about how the CDC is like,
Remind us that
COVID's
we
not
can
a thing
do
anymore?
big things.
Go back to work,
End
everybody.
cancer as we know it.
Crap, mouth.
And we will.
And cancer as we know it. Okay. I mean, everybody hates cancer.
I'm sorry.
I mean, he's not, again, he won't be around to see it.
You think you can end cancer, but you're just like, oh, I don't know about a ceasefire.
I can't get these trucks of aid into Gaza.
Yeah, we can't figure out a way to stop a
I
genocide.
can't stop
We
genocide,
can
but
stop cancer.
we will stop cancer before the genocide. I mean, the not genocide is over.
We'll stop cancer as long as the parliamentarian does not
Will
stop the bill.
reduce greenhouse gas emissions by half by 2030 when the full recolonization of the West Bank is
competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy.
Me, I prefer a lateral movement.
That has defined America.
Like a crab. Never going forward, never going backward.
To respect everyone.
Just a little bit
a little crabby going
scuttling to the side, but then eventually getting swept up by the tidal wave.
Well, right, because when there's a right when you're not.
The American story.
Give me a name says we'll stop cancer if Israel agrees with it.
That's not me. I was born in mid-World War II when America stood for the freedom of the world.
He did, RBF.
I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania,
but it was mostly
among working class people who built this country.
This is like, it's again, the bar is very low. He's arguing on the Republicans' level. Like, he's responding to what they're doing rather than articulating a vision of how he's going to do what he wants to do. Did you say Bobby Kennedy?
I watched in horror. MLK and Bobby Kennedy were assassinated. I watched in horrors. I watched Lincoln get shot out of play. I watched scared when they put Jesus on the cross.
Almost by accident.
I've seen it all.
I got elected to the United States Senate when I had no intention of running at age 29. Then vice president of our first black president. Now president to the first women vice president.
Hi, Instagram. Hi, everyone watching there. I want to read from your comments, too. Todd is up in the chat.
Oh, you're on Instagram, too?
Hell yeah.
Yo, follow at Matt Lieb Joke.
Sean comments as I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and it's also a shithole.
By the way,
you're not even the most famous person from Scranton.
Not a joke.
Lindsay laughing is so creepy, says Kathy. It really is.
I'm too old. Whether young or old, I've always been known.
You are
what endures.
Objectively
our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal. Deserves to be treated.
Your North Star is going to drive you right into a farmer's market.
We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic.
Oh, he's getting laid tonight. Jill is gonna give him some.
Oh, please.
You know what?
Oh God! This old fucking crone.
This fucking crone.
Oh God! You can hear her fucking bones clinking together.
It's how old are our ideas.
Sounds like a baby rattled.
Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas. It'll only take us back.
Oh, like the idea that Zionism is a good one. Like, can't lead the
revenge
like
is bad,
we should,
except if it's killing Palestinians, because
we
they
can't rule with
Asian.
can't rule with Asian ideas. Like
did
he say Asian ideas?
Ancient.
Will restore the right to choose.
Oh, Asian ideas here.
Take them away.
Well, almost.
The West.
I mean, he hates China too. So. No ancient ideas, no Asian ideas. His ideas are ancient. We can work with Republicans. We should meet them in the middle.
Yeah.
Abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. That's an old ass ancient slogan. He still didn't say abortion tonight. Didn't say abortion.
From the climate crisis in our country.
He said Roe v. Wade. Didn't say abortion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Above all, I see a future.
Which drugs he's on?
Well, I was saying
pure adrenochrome.
I mean, obviously, he drank a few.
This is a Q channel now.
All Americans. Because I believe in America.
I don't know what's a good upper.
I believe in you,
I mean, there's cocaine, there's amphetamine.
I think he got hit with I think he gets whatever in like any given Sunday, like it's just adrenaline.
Oh, adrenaline.
I think you get steroids or like
yeah, straight adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like what you give to someone when they're ODing, I guess. I don't know. I only saw that in what is he saying?
God protect our troops.
Wait, what the hell is that?
Someone's got
attacking
cane.
with a cane. It's Hamas. Hamas has brought a cane. It's Sinwar. So many disgusting people all together in one
Ivan
room.
Chef says, damn Asian ideas like pork fried rice. Oh, I'm hungry now.
I know.
Women should have their rights. Black people should be able to vote. Wow, so progressive.
Finally, someone said it.
About an hour and 7 minutes.
Ooh, an hour and 7 minutes.
Now shaking hands and greeting.
That's how long it was. Well, look. We are
Solid
now
B+.
awaiting. Yeah, solid B+.
Oh, is there going to be a?
There's going to be a rebuttal, and it's going to feature someone who detransitioned.
Oh Lord God! If they lose in November, if the Republicans lose in November, it will be because they are just this out of touch. Beating Biden should be a fucking layup, and I'm so glad that there's a chance that it won't happen.
I mean, this is my thing with Ron DeSantis. If only Ron DeSantis could have been the nominee, and he could be like, the books they talk about incest, and I would like to read you a page. Like,
no more books with dick sucking in them.
Offense, and I'll go into
We're
this
against
later as we
dick
get into
suck.
this, but I was watching two close things.
Oh man, everyone's getting COVID at this. Look at this close talking.
Get it.
Said my predecessor 13 times.
I'm just kidding.
Don't say that.
I'm joking. I want everybody to live.
At the end, you heard that there. He said, "I know I may not look like it, but I've been around for a while. When you get to my certain age, certain things become clearer than ever before."
Oh, the analysis from Spectrum One News. I didn't even know I was here.
Who's this guy?
I don't know.
I like there's just two random guys. They're like, so that was TV.
Oh wait.
Oh, it's gone.
I know it's gone.
It's just us now.
It's just us. I can go back.
Oh, look at this lady. She's just like, what do you think she's saying?
Nobody could see her.
Oh no,
now
see, you should have seen that lady.
That's a great well, lady. we can wait for the rebuttal, which I assume is when the fairy godmother comes down and makes Mike Johnson a real boy.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
yeah.
Trans people are the devil.
Trans. Yeah.
My son knows my search terms.
Someone wrote, I think I saw Bernie. Oh, is he out of hiding?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, we can have it back on, but we can have it on mute.
Sure.
It's just bothering me.
Yeah. I listen, I missed a good portion of it doing literally anything else, and it was the greatest time I've had. But I will say this, from what I caught, it seems like Biden seems like he's really got it together. I think he has a lot of really great ideas, like no and don't and come on, man. And I think that that's a winning message for November. You know, like we need to stop civilians from getting killed. Maybe later. Probably not.
Yeah, but in time.
In time.
This is what I was going to say. Two things that we've been talking about, and and Biden mentioned both of them. One was the greatest killing of Jews since the Holocaust.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then the second one was two-state solution.
Yes.
Now, let's start with the two-state solution one, because you know who doesn't agree with a two-state solution?
Literally anyone on the ground in Israel or Palestine.
But specifically your so-called allies.
Yes, the guy whose balls you lick on a regular basis, Benjamin Netanyahu, is actively congratulated himself for killing the two-state solution.
Like, exactly. You cannot even get Netanyahu to allow food aid trucks into Gaza. That you have to airdrop a drop in the water, that you've got to circumvent them in order to create this like a maritime situation, because these trucks are sitting there. You can't get them open, and there are other ports of entry points into Gaza. You can't
including
get
the
open
whole
them.
fucking ocean. That's like the most annoying thing about it, is that they're airdropping food because they came to the conclusion eventually, which they knew would happen, that Israel does not let shit into Gaza. And if Israel does let stuff in, its citizens will stop them from doing so.
Yeah.
And this is not like new for Israel. I mean, they've had a blockade for 17 years. That's why nothing goes in or out without the permission of the Israelis. And so, like, for Biden to be like, oh man, what are we going to do? Your people knew. If Biden didn't know, which I'll give him credit, he may not have known because his brain is made of soup. But
no,
the people around him
knew
damn well that there wasn't going to be any aid let in on the ground through, from Israel, unless they put any sort of meaningful pressure on them.
100 shipments of weapons. We now know 100 shipments unauthorized by Congress since October 7th. 100 U.S. shipments have been sent over to Israel. Wild shit. They're just now asking for an inventory, like, oh, hey, what was in that package I gave you? Was it all the smart bombs or the dumb bombs or the combination of both? Could you just give me a little inventory of that? So there's the two-state solution, which is not going to happen, especially given how weak Biden. I mean, first of all, Biden ain't going to be alive, number one.
Right.
But Biden is not going to put us on the path to that, because he's so unserious about it, because he can't even, again, step to Israel at all.
The idea of a two-state solution right now being talked about while the fucking the genocide and ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians is happening currently before our very eyes in Gaza is so ridiculous. It's like watching the Trail of Tears and being like, we need a two-state solution. The Native Americans can have half of the land. It's just, you're watching it going, I don't think you're serious about this at all.
Yeah.
And he's not serious about it, because anyone who talks about a two-state solution during this genocide is absolutely it's their way of pretending that they give a shit about the peace process. And the peace process at this point is so clearly just a distraction. It's so clearly just
while there are more settlements. I mean, he didn't even actually. One thing he could have talked about is that he's putting restrictions on, or I guess trying to punish people who are doing illegal settlements.
Someone's mad that I said that Biden's brain is made of soup. It's not made of soup. What I'm saying is that it is very wet.
No, there's also, first of all, there's also people who thought he did really well on Instagram. Obviously, real fans are over on YouTube and Twitch. JK, love you. But if you're not subscribed to the Bitchuation Room at Franny Fio on YouTube or Twitch, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He did do really well in that he completed sentences. And again, we are holding him to a standard that is so ridiculous. Like, why is the bar so low for the literal president, where we're just like, he's doing his best? And it's like, he's the fucking president.
Well, I think he laid out the things that he's for, but
he's not willing to do anything. To get them enacted.
He's not able to be specific about how he's going to get there. I think his strongest for him, his strongest points were about the economy and sort of pushing back on the idea
Sure.
that the economy is not good. And he was like, actually, it's bouncing back more than ever, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was able to also talk about what he wants to do in terms of, he's been raising interest rates on Americans. And so the idea that he wants to bring those interest rates down, he also wants to extend the credits for the credits effectively on the Affordable Care Act, like Obamacare marketplace, which for us, you and me and our family, has been crucial. Our healthcare payments we buy on the marketplace are insane, fucking insane.
Yeah.
So we're saving like $300, $400 a month on that. But we're still paying like 900, we're paying tons of money. So that's something which is good. He wants to make those permanent, I guess. How about a public option? That'd be fucking even better.
Yeah. Imagine if Obama had gotten that through, and then instead of slow rolling and trying to bring Republicans to his side, he had just first day in office said, we're doing this, we're taking a vote, let's go.
Yeah,
he had a supermajority in both houses, and he could have done it. And
he's like nibbling away at the outsides of like the excesses of like late stage capitalism. Yes, like junk fees and other things like that. But again, none of it is like, no, you can't really, no one's going to bat for junk fees. You know, people like, that's not anyone's like main fucking issue.
If you're gonna work on that, do it and don't tell me about it, because I'm just like, I can't sit here watching 2 million people being starved to death in Gaza, and you tell me about the treats that are going to cost less.
Or like you're talking about the fact that like we don't have as many chips in a bag, like for snacks. Like that's so crass and ridiculous. And like
it's this like, what is the demographic he's going after? Just like the hungry hippo. Like,
give me the plug.
Yeah.
The hungry hippos. Ever all you hungry. No, the computer.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I just like, I look at that and I go like, who is this for? I just like, I guess it's for people who already don't give a shit about anything else that's going on, which fine.
Well, exactly. He's basically
I want
like
snackies cheap.
He's
not
basically
saying I
like
don't want that.
He's effectively like, there's nothing to see here. You know what I mean? Everything's fine in Gaza. We're trying to, you know,
two people have set themselves on fire.
Yeah. Did he talk about? He could have talked about Aaron Bushnell.
Aaron Bushnell.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
He was an Air Force service member. Like he, where are we talking about him? Where are we talking about the folks that there were 3 people who were American troops who were killed in Jordan because of the retaliation over Gaza, you know, but all we care about is the shipping and the Houthis and all that. And then we're mad at China. But the other thing was the Holocaust line, which you and I have talked about.
Yeah, this idea of conflating October 7th with the Holocaust on this like this juked stat of, and when I say juked stat, what I mean is just a stat that is like true technically in principle, but is completely misleading. Calling this another Holocaust by saying this is the most Jews who have died in one day since the Holocaust is like, it's so demeaning. It demeans the Holocaust and what the Holocaust was and what it was about, and it also like conflates the acts of terrorism, an act of terrorism against the state, with generalized European anti-Semitism, which is a completely different thing. And I'm sorry, but this idea that like, oh well, everyone in Gaza, all of like Hamas are all Nazis and whatnot, is used to actively keep this genocide going. This idea of like
comparing them to the Holocaust, and also like the other thing that I was telling you was like, you know, Jews obviously rightly say we shouldn't, or they basically, not rightly, but it's always talked about like never compare anything to the Holocaust. You never compare it to the Holocaust.
Yes.
You should never ever compare the Holocaust to anything ever.
You're
But
not allowed to compare anything to the Holocaust.
the murder and of 1,200 people, a lot of them military service members, on one day,
Yes.
with
Immediately
200
compared to the Holocaust.
hostages taken in one day,
Yes.
is comparable to 6 million
6
Jews
million Jews
systematically
yes.
exterminated
shot,
by
gassed, put in a concentration
like,
camp,
these are
starved to death.
This is like so again,
And
like
so
the conflation or like
yes.
the comparison is really dangerous.
It's really dangerous, and it demeans the Holocaust. It demeans Holocaust survivors, and it completely misses the idea of what made the Holocaust bad. What made the Holocaust bad wasn't just that Jews died. Of course, that was what was bad, but it was the dehumanization of an entire population of people to the point at which it wasn't even a thought amongst people that, yes, we can murder them all. Murdering them was like murdering, like cattle. It was nothing to them, and that's genocidal behavior.
Right, that's the process that we're undergoing right
Yes.
now when we dehumanize Palestinians
Yes.
to the point where their lives are just collateral damage because they were hiding in front of Hamas, and
right.
They're using their own flesh as a human shield, and that's why we have to starve them to death.
Yeah, and it's just so like disgusting, and it's so cynical, and it's so transparent. And to me, I'm like, either you are going to stick with this rule that nothing ever compares to the Holocaust, or you're not. And if you're going to compare that to the Holocaust, then anyone is well within their rights to see a giant group of people being starved to death, systematically taken away from their homes, bombed indiscriminately, and killed in essentially what is a giant concentration camp. If you're going to be mad that someone compares that to the Holocaust, then maybe don't compare a day of terrorism to the Holocaust.
Yeah. Yes, I want to move on really quickly because there was a couple of folks have said, Solar Flare says, not that much time spent on abortion, contraception, or IVF. He said a little bit about IVF, didn't talk about abortion, didn't say abortion.
Didn't say the word abortion?
I don't think he said the word abortion. He was not, also didn't, talked about banning books, but someone said he could have talked about LGBTQ plus rights. Like, yeah, he didn't say like trans rights or human rights, which is a basic thing to say. Like you could easily say that,
Yeah.
And the
you're
reason
not going to lose any voters over that.
No, you're not going to lose fucking any voters.
And you would gain the respect of people.
You're going to gain the respect of hella people, but instead you don't want to say trans rights or human rights. You don't want, because I don't know, Chappelle might invite you for like to stay at his comedy club in Ohio, or
Yeah.
Biden might do like a hot opening set.
Listen, if Chappelle's going to invite you places, then it's okay to throw an entire
exactly. You can be a transphobe for Chappelle, but yeah, I mean, and then the other thing is like there was a little taunting. He does the taunting of the Republicans, which I thought was funny, but specifically around Social Security, tax cuts, and things that they like, and then the border bill, which is just like, what are we doing here? Like, they're never going to give you a win. It's like his strategy to get Republicans. I guess I feel like after seeing Joe Biden deal with someone like a Democrat like Joe Manchin, who had him by the balls and who he like tried to sort of like, finesse and ultimately capitulated to, and then seeing Joe Biden with Netanyahu, and now seeing Joe Biden with Republicans, I don't really get the sense that he is using any leverage to get them actually to do what he wants. He just is like trying to like, come on, man them to death. Yeah. He's just trying to like bro out with them until they agree, even though they will never agree. Like Republicans will never give you this win. Netanyahu will never give you the ceasefire. Sure as shit won't give you a two-state solution. Yes. And Joe Manchin was never going to give you the Build Back Better plan. And thus, you have to do things like, I believe in, like, we need to change the rules of the Senate, i.e. get rid of the filibuster, because it is unnecessary. It's been used by Mitch fucking sees the Grim Reaper and stalls for 5 minutes McConnell. Like, and he should. I poked him. And he should. Every time.
I think about that.
Every time Matt thinks about Mitch McConnell, he just goes, pooped him. I But like, exactly, like, how are exactly are you going to implement this? We should pass. We must do. Da, 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 da. Like, you're the president of the fucking United States. Do it. Show us how and explain where the holdup is, because it's in Congress, it's in the Senate. And I also feel like for progressives and leftists watching this, it wasn't for us.
No, it was
like there was nothing that was
so
sort of nothing to the
talking
uncommitted
around
voter.
An entire group of people that got him over the edge. And I'm sorry, but this, the way that people frame, his narrow ass wins, they were narrow wins in swing states that got him over the edge. If you want to be someone who's like, oh, it was the dissatisfied suburban voters who did it, feel free. But if he doesn't get young people voting for him, if he does not get, quote, the left, I mean, the left is a small portion of voters, right? You could do the left, activist left, is just
but the progressive, not even progressive, the Democrats who don't want Democrats' number one issue. Look, I'm not a big meme person, but there's one tweet that's been floating around that I'm like, this is it. Which it's like them saying, don't become a one issue voter. Right. And then the issue, and it's just an image of the body bags in a ditch in Gaza. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, I think you can be a one issue voter if the issue is genocide. My president is sending money, weapons, and full-throated support to the indiscriminate murder of children, of a population, half of whom are children.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but so to say, oh man, that's the thing about you Palestine people, you're such single issue voters. You only care about one thing. It's like, can you imagine caring about anything? Do you care about any, what are your
imagine actually caring.
Life? What is your priority in life? Because if you're someone who's sitting around going, well, the thing is that I'm not a single issue voter. I vote on many issues. First, it's like, okay, does genocide rank there at all? Is that not a thing?
Okay, hang on. I just want to show.
Sorry, I just want to say, I'm not even I'm literally sitting here not telling you, don't vote for Biden. I'm not saying
some people
that.
on Instagram think that though.
Listen, if you're on Instagram and you're like, hey, they're saying don't vote for Biden because I'm criticizing Biden.
You're going for Trump. You're handing it to Trump.
Oh yeah, that's how it works. The way it works is that people on Instagram, they go on Instagram
we love you,
and they say out loud, I have some reservations about genocide, and it's like, well, way to give it to Trump. I'm sorry, but eat every last dick in the universe. Care about literally something.
Eat every last dick in the universe, people. You heard it here first.
Sorry.
Can I just read a couple comments, and then I also want to plug, if you're watching this, thank you, bienvenidos.
Come to Sacramento.
No. Come. Well, obviously, come to Sacramento to see us live, but send in a super chat. Thank me. I could be doing a million other things and probably should be, but I'm sitting on this couch talking politics. I'm really hungry. Send a super chat, send a little badge, send some some love, and subscribe to the Bitchuation Room, youtube.com/FrannyFio, twitch.tv/FrannyFio. Or you can listen as a podcast to the Bitchuation Room, and I hope you're doing that, people. I just want to say that Katrina Bleckley, what's up, Katrina? Criminal illegals mentioning that that is actually what Biden said. Yeah. Oh, wait. We got the response.
Oh,
fuck. We got the response.
Oh shit. Can you give me one headphone? Because I cannot hear.
Wait, I gotta go back.
Have fewer opportunities and less freedoms than we did. I worry my own children may not even get a shot at living their American dreams. My American dream allowed me, the daughter of two small business owners, to be elected to the Senate at the age of 40.
Oh, when they said you couldn't do it, they said it could never be done.
In the bathroom at my mom's dance studio. I never could have imagined what my story would entail.
I bet I could have guessed
about what the American dream can do. across just one generation
What?
in just one lifetime.
Oh boy.
Is she sitting on a
Truly
simian?
breathtaking.
She
But
coming right now?
right now,
Oh God.
the
crap.
American dream
whoa.
has turned into a nightmare.
Oh, dude, I've
Oh,
never heard
this
that
is
before.
So
So
many
performative.
families. The true, unvarnished state of our union
Is this about drugs?
begins and ends with this. Our families are hurting.
From
Our
There
country
are
can
trans.
do better.
okay,
Thank you so much.
And you don't have to look any further than the crisis at our southern border
Oh yeah, there
to
we
see
go.
it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
President Biden inherited the most secure
They're bringing
border of
pupusas.
all time.
They're coming
But
here.
minutes after
They're
taking
coming to my
office,
mom's dance
he
studio.
suspended
They're
all
cleaning the floor.
deportations. He halted construction of the border wall, and he announced a plan to give amnesty to millions.
Dreamers
President
of
Biden
people
didn't just
People born in this
create
brought to
the
this
border
country as
crisis.
fucking
as
minors.
babies.
He invited it with 94 executive actions in his first 100 days.
Oh man. Well, I missed
When
that
I took
Biden.
office, I took a different approach. I traveled to the Del Rio sector of Texas.
Oh God.
That's where I spoke to a woman who shared her story with me.
She said she no quiero
She
American
had been sex
dream.
trafficked by the
She's-
cartels starting at the age of 12.
Mm.
Oh,
She
they
told
love
me
talking
not
about
just
Yes,
that
they
she
do.
was raped every
Oh,
day,
the R
you're
word.
talking
but
about
how many
ours,
times
dude.
Talking about
a
R-ing?
day she was raped.
Ooh,
Oh,
second
oh,
R
The
word.
cartels put
many
her on
times
a
a day.
mattress in a shoebox of a room, and they sent men through that door over and over again for hours and
Stop!
hours.
What is she
And
doing to her?
Republicans love
we
this
wouldn't
shit.
be
We
okay
know
with
her
this
search
happening
terms
in a third
already.
world country.
And just man
This is
after
the United
man
States of
after
America.
man
And it is
after
past
man
time, in my
after
opinion, that
man
we start acting like
after
it.
man.
President Biden's
They
border
ran a train
policies
on her.
are
Oh.
a disgrace.
You know what running a train
This
is?
crisis is
Chugga,
despicable.
chugga, chugga,
And
chugga.
others think
Shame
it is
on
almost
you.
entirely preventable.
Like, what?
From
Why are you
fentanyl
telling us this? Who is this?
poisonings
Who? What the
Oh, here we go.
fuck?
Fentanyl.
to horrific murders.
About no.
The
There
last
are empty
person
chairs
in the
tonight
train
at kitchen tables
Joe
just like
Robin
this one
Biden.
because of President Biden's senseless border policies.
Mhm.
Just think about Lake and Riley.
Just think
In my
about
neighboring state of Georgia,
God,
this beautiful
these fucking people.
22-year-old nursing student went out on a jog one morning, but she never got the opportunity to return home.
Oh, this breathy bullshit
She was
is
brutally murdered by one of the millions
Of
of
illegal.
illegal border crossers
There we go.
President Biden chose to release into our homeland.
Well, this is a senator.
Is
Yo,
this a
as a
senator?
mom,
Katie Britt?
I can't quit thinking about this.
As a mom,
I mean, this
In
could have been my daughter.
stage
Oh,
kitchen.
she touched
This
the
could
lap.
have been yours.
She touched her cross.
And
Mhm.
tonight, President Biden finally said her name. But he refused to take responsibility for his own actions.
He was one of the
Mr.
men.
President,
who watched the room.
enough is enough. Innocent Americans are dying, and you only have yourself to blame.
Yeah, I don't know what she's
Fulfill
saying,
your oath of office.
but she sure is
Reverse
angry.
your policies.
Turn up the
End this
vibration on the
crisis and
simian.
stop the suffering.
Dude, this is some wild
Sadly.
performative
Sadly.
gaslighting.
We know that President Biden's failures don't stop there.
Can you memorize this?
His reckless spending dug our economy into a hole and sent the cost of living through the roof.
Kitty litters.
We
Who-
have the worst
when
inflation
when-
in 40
when
years
Trump was
and
president,
the
all the
highest credit
chippies
card debt
were
in our
inside
nation's
of the
history.
Frito
Let
bag.
that sink in.
It would take me.
Hardworking families are struggling to make ends meet today. And with soaring mortgage rates and sky-high childcare costs, they're also struggling to how to plan for tomorrow.
God, stop looking away like that. That's so
The
obnoxious.
American people are scraping by, while President Biden proudly proclaims that Bidenomics is working. Goodness, Joel. Bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
We
Bitch,
know
no
better.
single Republican voted
I'll
for the
never forget
American
stopping
rescue.
at a gas station in Chilton County one
None of
evening.
them.
You guys
The
believe in
gentleman
nothing.
working the counter told me
Y'all
that
are
after
stripping
retiring,
away
he
food
had to
stamps
pick up a
from
job in
families.
his 70s so that he didn't have to choose between going hungry or going without his
You're
medication.
taking food stamps
He said,
away.
I did
You
everything
don't believe
right.
in Social
I did
Security.
everything I was told to do. I worked hard. I saved. I was responsible.
You literally thought that the pandemic food
alone.
stamps are giving people an
I
extra
hear similar
$15
concerns
a month
from fellow
Yes.
was
parents.
too much
Whether
money.
I am walking with my
And
friends
you were like, I had
or
chicken
whether
for
I'm
the
at
first
my
time
kids'
in
games.
months, and you thought that was
But
too
let's
much.
be honest.
Eat one of the
It's
fruits
been a
behind
minute
you.
since
Eat
Joe
one of the
Biden
fruit.
pumped gas,
Go for it.
Prove
ran a
it's real fruit.
carpool, or even pushed a
CEOs right now are
grocery
like,
cart.
"Let's eat cereal for dinner," which, by the
Meanwhile,
way, Matt
the
Lieb
rest
does.
of us
Yeah,
see
to help
our
America.
dollar, and we know it doesn't go as far. We see it every day. And despite what he tells you, our communities are not safer. For years, the left has coddled criminals
Yeah.
and defunded the police.
Yeah, I
all
love both
while
those things.
letting
We need them
repeat
criminals.
offenders walk
We need them
free.
defund the police.
The result is tragic, but
God, if
foreseeable.
only we had defunded the
From
Oh
our
my
small towns
God.
to America's most iconic city streets, life
I want to
is
live in the world
getting
Republicans
more and
think
more
Democrats
dangerous.
want. Oh,
And
I want
unfortunately,
nothing
President
more than the world
Biden's
Republicans
weakness
think
isn't
Democrats.
just hurting
I
families
want
here at home.
Democrats.
He is making us a punchline on the world stage. Look,
Mhm.
where I'm from, your word is your bond. But for 3 years, the president
Word
has
is bond.
demonstrated
Sure
that
does.
America's word doesn't
Where are you
mean
from?
what it
Word
used to.
on,
Where is
dog.
Bond, dog?
From abandoning our allies in his disastrous
From where I'm
withdrawal
from?
from
It's
Afghanistan,
family over everything,
to
Cholo.
desperately pushing another dangerous deal with Iran.
From where I'm from,
President
it's
Biden has
Sanchez essay.
failed. We've become a nation in retreat. And the enemies of freedom, they see an opportunity. Putin's brutal aggression in Europe has put our allies on the brink.
Oh.
Iran's terrorist proxies
Oh,
have
wow, you brought-
slaughtered Israeli, Jews, and American citizens.
What about the-
She
They've
stumbled over
targeted commercial
Jews.
shipping,
Right.
and they've
What about the
attacked
American
our troops
citizens
nearly
trapped in Gaza?
200 times
There are
since
American
October,
citizens who are also
killing
I
3
also believe
U.S.
most of
soldiers
the
and
amount of
2
American,
Navy
dead
SEALs.
American citizens in.
Meanwhile, the Chinese Communist Party
Oh,
is
here we go.
undercutting America's workers.
Uh-huh.
China is buying up our farmland,
Okay.
spying on our
Explain to
military
me how that's
installations,
communism,
and
by the way.
spreading propaganda through the likes of
The,
TikTok.
the Chinese Communist
You see,
Party
The
is doing
CCP
capitalism,
knows
doing free market
that
capitalism.
if it conquers the minds of our
reminds me-
next generation,
Have you guys
A
seen
woman
Barry?
holding a knife.
Have you guys seen
it
Barry?
conquers
Oh, yes.
America.
This is the main
That's right.
And what
actress's
does
my
President
God.
Biden
monologue
do?
Yes.
Well,
that she
he
practiced.
bans TikTok for government employees, but
Exactly it.
creates an account for his
We're in
own
a
campaign.
in class
Y'all,
right now.
you can't make this stuff up.
You can.
Look,
You can and
we
you do
all
all the
recall
time.
when presidents faced national security threats with strength and resolve. That seems like ancient history. Right now,
I know what this
our
means, Trent.
commander-in-chief
I'm glad you pulled up a
is
few minutes for
not
yourself.
in command.
And whatever this means, I don't know if
What?
it's
The
shade or
free world deserves better
probably shouldn't be live
than
here.
a dithering and diminished leader. America deserves leaders who
Better than Sarah
recognize
Parker
that
used to.
secure borders, stable
God,
prices,
that's what matters.
safe streets,
Don't say that to
and
Sarah.
a strong
They're not that
defense
Ozempic, you know.
are
Well,
actually
for real? I mean,
the
you can tell.
cornerstones of a great nation. Just ask
100%.
yourself, are you better off now than you were 3 years ago?
Under
Oh,
Trump?
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not if you're
There's no doubt
Palestinian.
we're at a crossroads,
Well, yeah.
and it doesn't have
Super
to
chat.
be this way.
Misanthropic humanist, you're
We all
wonderful.
feel it.
Thank you, Barbara LC. Thank you so
But
much.
here's the good news.
Francesca. Love
We,
you.
the
Thank you, Zero
people,
PE.
are still in
Thank
the
you,
driver's
James
seat.
Kelly.
We
Adderall
get to decide whether our future will grow
Yeah.
brighter,
Thank you so
or
much,
whether
William
we'll
Gregor.
settle for an
Shout out to
America
Joe for
in
an amazing amount
decline.
of pharmaceutical mainline genocide.
Well, I know which choice our
What
children
is that?
deserve.
What is it?
And I know the
There's a
choice
lot of
the
pharmaceutical
Republican
mainline
Party is
genocide.
fighting for. We are the party of hard-working parents
you,
and
Maguire.
families. And we want to give you
No, you're not.
and your children
Party
the
of
opportunities to
rich
thrive.
motherfuckers that buy their
And
way out of the
We
system
want families
and
to
mock
grow.
everyone else for
It's
still
why
being
we
in it.
I
strongly
love that
support
you started off
continued
like, I am
nationwide
the
access
daughter
to in vitro
of 2, and
fertilization.
you're waiting for
We want
literally
to help
any group,
loving moms and dads
teachers,
bring
immigrants,
precious life
immigrants,
into this world.
small business.
Wesley and I believe there is no greater
I'm half
blessing
small
in
business
life.
owners, but
than
on
our
my dad's
children.
side, so it doesn't count.
And that's why tonight I want to make a direct appeal to the parents out there.
Oh, direct appeal to
And
parents.
in particular
I'm a parent.
to my
Are you a
fellow
parent?
moms,
Oh, okay, go
many
ahead.
of
Mom.
whom I know will be up, tossing and turning
I'm
at 2 a.m., wondering how you're going to be in 3 places at once and then somehow still get dinner on the table. First
Who
of
cooks
all,
dinner in this family?
we see you,
Sunbasket.
Papa
we
does.
hear you,
We.
and we stand with you.
If I don't have
Dude,
dinner
she's
on the
doing-
table,
She's doing
You're
ASMR, dog.
frustrated.
it's going to be
I know
so.
you're probably disgusted by most of what you see going on in Washington, and
I'm
I'll
pretty
be
disgusted
really
about what
honest
I
with
heard
you.
you say
You're not
about
wrong for feeling that way.
wars happening
Look,
to
I
a
get it.
12-year-old.
The task in
and
front of
making
us
a
isn't an
political
easy
point
one,
out
but I
of
can
it.
promise you one thing.
I'm most disgusted by
is
that.
Pretty
you
worth
fucking
disgusting
it.
you
fool.
dragging that out.
So I
Yeah.
am asking you, for the sake of your kids and your grandkids, get into the arena. Every
2 men
generation has been
enter,
called
1
to
man
do hard
leaves.
Find
things.
a Proud Boy
American
group.
greatness
them,
rests in the
back you
fact that
at all
we
PTA meetings,
always
and then
answer that
maybe have a
call.
threesome with them
It's
because
who
they're
we are.
always down,
She's got
and
some
no
Never
one
forget,
will suspect
we are
9/11.
steeped
because
in the blood of patriots
Oh,
who overthrew the
we are
most
steeped in the
powerful
blood
empire in the
of
world.
patriots.
and
We
Native
walk
Americans
in the
Yeah,
and
so
footsteps of
many, so much
pioneers
blood.
who
We are
tamed the
straight up
wild.
drowning in blood, yo.
We now carry forward the same flame of freedom as the liberators of an oppressed Europe.
yo, you think she memorized
We
this whole like
continue
she's
to
kinda
draw
Nah,
courage
she's
from
on
really
performance,
those who
she's
bent the
doing
moral
great.
arc
crushing it.
of the universe.
Like
And when we gaze upon the heavens, never forget that our DNA contains the same ingenuity that put man on the moon.
don't say DNA.
America has been
Don't do
tested
that.
before,
Scared of her eugenic
and
shit, but
every single time we've emerged
She is very much
unbowed and
the wife in
unbroken.
a an apocalypse
Our
movie.
history
dude, yeah,
has been
she's gonna
written
stab
with
me
the
in the
grit
heart.
of
Drink my
men
blood.
and women
alien
who
come
got
off screen,
knocked
just like
down.
rip their head off and just
But we
and
know their stories
upside down.
because they did not stay down. We are here
Where?
because they
Where are you
stood
though?
back.
Touch that
up.
orange. Is that a
Eat
persimmon?
a banana.
So
It's
now
right
it's
behind.
our turn.
Prove the
Our
fruit is
moment to
real.
stand
I'm a
up and
fruit
prove
truther right
ourselves
now.
worthy of protecting the American dream.
The wildest shit I've seen.
Together, we can reawaken the heroic spirit of a great nation. Because America, we don't just have a rendezvous with destiny. We take destiny's hand and we lead it. Our future starts around kitchen tables just like this.
Good to see you,
With
RBF.
moms and dads.
Just the fucking
just
creepiest
like you
fucking kitchen table I've ever
And
seen in
you-
my life.
are why I believe with
Yeah.
every fiber of my being that despite the current state of our union, our best days are still ahead.
He says
May
racial
God
slurs
bless you,
under her breath.
and may God
Like,
continue
you peaked in
to
fucking
bless
high school. Your
these
best days are ahead.
United States
Oh,
of
she's-
America.
She's speaking now, babe. I mean, listen.
When does this drop? When does this drop? Keep it going.
Senator Katie Britt, who gave the Republican response to the State of the Union
Wow,
address,
wow.
back with my panel. Let me go right to you, Karina Kling. What did you make what do you make of that response from Senator Britt?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I will just continue to reemphasize how much the border was front and center in her speech, but also just the fact that the contrast in this has been pointed out, but the huge difference from seeing President Biden to seeing this senator, very young.
Is it hot and full or too? Is it cold?
You just burped in my face.
I burped a little bit. Do I get some of this money?
Yes, you do. You get some of the super chat money.
I
Holy
get some of
shit.
the money.
Holy shit. Guys, that was wild.
I thought there was going to be a detransitioned person, like a.
I think maybe they were just invited. Or sorry, she was invited.
Yes. Please do not misgender.
I will. Yeah.
Who
To
detransition.
detransition.
I mean,
Jesus
fair is
Christ.
fair. I think that's true.
Moms, get involved. I know that you're thinking, am I going to get hit again today? I know you're thinking,
You know what?
why didn't I get an abortion? I know you're thinking, sure, he's off with his mistress, but he's going to be hungry when he comes home for all that adultery. And that's why you need to go and terrorize the trans youth at your child's school, or maybe not your child's school. Your child might not even go there.
Yeah.
But shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you go there?
Where
Shouldn't
we
you
go one, we go all.
Shouldn't you go everywhere? For where we go one,
Yeah.
we go all.
It was weird that.
Can you find the 10 QAnon clues in this kitchen behind me? They're there. I'll let you read into it. Why am I wearing green?
Yeah. You know what I liked about it was that she delivered it with the same kind of enthusiasm as a woman on TikTok who's telling you about how if you park at a grocery store next to a van that you have to make sure to not touch your door handle because there'll be fentanyl on it, and that's how they traffic you. This is like one of those, wake up, America. This is how the trafficking is done. The best is yet to come. It sounded like she was coming the whole time.
She's the kind of, and then there's a story of a girl.
Yeah.
And she was bit by a spider on her face.
Yeah.
And
now
she scratched it and she scratched it and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden it opened up. And 100,000 little Joe Bidens came crawling out. That's the level of mythological psycho shit. Where she's gotta have a fucking
just a bunch of little spiders.
And
come
then,
on, man. Come on, man.
And then they all said, come on, man. Come on, man. And then they all made them do trans things together.
Wow, that was
fun. Guys, send me some love. Send me a super chat. Subscribe to the Bitchuation Room at Franny Fio. I'll be going live tomorrow at 1 p.m. But first, I'll be on the Majority Report, and then I'll be on TYT for all you people. But now I have to go have some goddamn dinner because I'm hungry.
Salad.
I love you all. You're great. You could also tip me TBR-Live on Venmo, TBR Live on Cash App. How do I stop this? You're all wonderful. Thank you for being members.
Let them watch us eat. I'm just kidding. Go away.